Yes, sir.
So Mr. CB, force ICSA class 10th revision MCQs. Question number 1. Force is equal to
So B,
mass into
acceleration.
mass into acceleration. So B part. Question number 2. One way to reduce the moment of force about an axis of rotation. So what would be the right answer?
A.
So moment of force is equal to, so for example, if this is the axis of rotation, this is axis of rotation, and this is the line of action of force. So this is the line of action of force. This is my force, and this is the perpendicular distance. This is the perpendicular distance. The moment of force would be equal to force into the perpendicular distance between the line of action of force and the axis of rotation. Mr. CB, any doubt? Mr. CB, any doubt?
No doubt.
So one way to reduce the moment of force would be decreasing the perpendicular distance. This perpendicular distance has to be decreased. Good. Question number 3. A rotational motion around a fixed axis is an example of.
So it would be B.
Rotational motion around a fixed axis is an example of rotational motion. Great. Okay. Question number 4.
When a rigid body is acted upon by a force, how many different types of motion can you observe? So there is the motion which we are giving to the rigid body.
Yeah.
And so I can count C, 2.
2. See, let us try to understand this. See, as per your book, they have introduced the linear motion. They have introduced a rotational motion. So when I give this force to this object, either this can move ahead, and the second option is that it can also turn. Any doubt?
No doubt.
So as per class 10th, the answer would be 2. But please remember that when you go to class 11th and 12th, there is another kind of motion which you will be studying, which is the vibrational motion. Mr. CB, any doubt?
No doubt.
So you will have rotational motion, you will have linear motion, and you will have vibrational motion. This vibrational motion will only come in class 11th and 12th. So now you can skip about this, and the right answer would be 2. Great. Question number 5. When an object moves a fixed distance from a fixed point, what type of motion is it?
So this would be A.
When an object moves at a fixed distance from a fixed point, basically what they are trying to say is that this is the fixed distance which the object always moves from a fixed point. This is the fixed distance. Any doubt?
No doubt.
What would be the right answer?
The circular motion.
Circular motion. Great. Question number 6. Torque is dependent on.
So torque is dependent on D.
Force applied, perpendicular distance, line of action of force, pressure on the substance, A and B. So of course the right answer would be torque is equal to force into perpendicular distance between the line of action of force and the axis of rotation, as we have discussed previously. Great. Question number 7. CGS unit of force is
B. Dyne.
Dyne. Great. 1 Newton is equal to
A.
10⁵ Dyne. Let us quickly derive this. 1 Newton is equal to mass to acceleration is equal to kg into meter on second square is equal to 1000 grams into 100 centimeter upon second square is equal to 10 raised to 5 grams and centimeter by second square is equal to 10 raised to 5 time. So be any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
Just take care that usually this is not the kind of question they'll be asking you. Usually they ask question like 1 time is equal to how many newtons. What would be the answer, Mr. CB?
10 raised to the power minus 5.
Question 9.
So this would be 10 into 50. Oh, sorry. 50 upon 10, which would be 5.
Try to understand this. This is 0.0, the moment of force of 10 Newton. So this would be 10 Newton. About a 0.0 is 50 Newton meter. So the moment of force is 50 Newton meter. And let us assume this to be the perpendicular distance d. So d into the force, which is 10 Newton. So my answer would be?
The answer would be 5 meter.
5 meter. Now again, just to confuse, you will have two kind of fives here. One would be 5 meter, other would be 5 centimeter. Just take care to select the right fives. Mr. CB, any doubt?
No doubt.
So these are the small tricks that usually paper setters do, just to check whether the students have read the question properly or not. Question number 10. A nut is opened by a wrench of length 20 centimeter. Please forces 2 Newton. Find the moment of force needed to loosen the nut.
So length is centimeters. We have to convert that into meter.
Shabash.
So
this would be 20 centimeter. This would be 20 upon 100 meter. Yeah. What next?
So then, according to the formula, moment of force is equal to force into length. So 2 into 20 upon 100.
2 into 20 upon 100. So the answer would be 40 upon 100, or the answer would be 0.4 Newton meter. Does there be any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
See, what the question is saying is, what is if the least force required is 2 Newton? When it is saying it is a least force, the least force would be something like this. Any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
See, the least force is the force which is perpendicular to the distance. Any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
That is why he is saying that this is the least force. The least force would always be perpendicular to the perpendicular distance. Just remember this. This is the least force. That is why you have the perpendicular distance to be 20 upon 100 into 2, and the final answer is 0.4. Any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
Question number 11.
So A.
A body is placed on a tabletop. So you have a tabletop like this. This is a, let us assume any body. It exerts a force equal to the weight downwards. This is the force that it is exerting, but it does not fall or move. What is the direction of the force? Of course, the direction of the force would be downward. Great. And what would be the direction of the reaction, Mr. CB?
So vertically upwards.
Direction of normal force. What is a normal force? Normal force is basically the reaction which the table would have on the body. Any doubt, Mr. CB?
No doubt, sir.
So this is a reaction. This reaction would also be denoted as N in higher classes. And what you will say is, because this is an equilibrium, that is why the normal force is equal to, which is easy. What is it equal to?
So W.
So the reaction of the table would be equal to the weight of the body. And that is why it is an equilibrium. Mr. CB, any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
I think in your book they have an example where they have taken a body like this. So this is a simple pendulum. Now this is a ball which is hanging. So here the tension in the thread would be equal to the weight of the bob. Any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
Great. Question number 12. Which of these moments is considered negative?
So B.
So what we have discussed is that angle is always positive when it is in the anti-clockwise direction. Similarly, the moment of force is always positive when it is in the anti-clockwise direction, and therefore, when it is in the clockwise direction, the moment of force would be negative. So the answer would be great. Would be B. Great. Question number 13.
The unit of moment of couple is B.
The unit would be Newton meter. Of course, it would be Newton meter. It would be force into perpendicular distance, and that is the Newton meter. Question number 14.
So this would be C.
C. Great. When a body is in equilibrium, the sum of anti-clockwise movement would be equal to sum of the clockwise movement. See, this is basically the principle that you use when you are doing all those questions which involve the meter scale. So you will have moment of forces like this. So this moment plus this moment, let us consider this to be M1, this to be M2, this would be M3, this would be M4, this would be M5, and this is the axis of rotation. Have you understood what I'm saying? So M1 plus M2 would be equal to M3 plus M4 plus M5. These are the moment of forces. These are the questions that you usually do when you do those seesaw questions or the meter scale questions. Okay, great. Next question, question 15.
A couple constitutes of C.
Okay, let us try to understand this question. So this is a loosely photograph of a tap. Roughly, this is how a tap would look like. Tap, the old style tap. So this is a head. Now let us understand the question. A couple consists of equal and opposite forces whose line of action are same, equal and like forces whose line of action are same, equal and opposite forces line of action are not same, equal and like forces or line of action are not same. So if I look at this tab from above I am looking at this. This is how it would look to me. Now if I want a couple, the couple should look something like this. This force is equal to this force, and the line of action of this force and the line of action of this force are different. Any doubt?
No doubt.
So one thing that we require is when we look at this force is equal and opposite. Do we agree?
Yes, sir.
So this is the first condition, equal and opposite. And what is the second condition?
So lines of force are not same.
Are not same. Great. So the line of forces can't be same. This is the second condition. So what would be the right answer? Equal and opposite, and the line of action are not same. So C would be the right answer. Mr. CB, any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
The center of gravity of hollow sphere lies?
D.
Great. It will be lying at the geometric center. So if I have a hollow sphere like this, of course it will lie at the center. Question number 17.
The center of gravity of a triangle is B.
Great. All you need to do is you can draw the medians. And what is this point known as where the medians meet, Mr. CB? Just remember, you can note it down. This is called the centroid. Just note it down. Where the medians meet. Just note it down. Because rather than telling you the medians intersect, they might also say centroid. Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Question number 18. Center of gravity is usually located where?
More weight is concentrated.
So if you have an irregular object, and let us assume the weight is more towards this side than this side, then of course the center of gravity would be shifted towards here. And then what you need to understand is that this would depend upon weight. So more weight is concentrated would be the right answer. This is to be any doubt.
No doubt, sir.
See, this again is an important question. Center of gravity of a hollow cone of height h and a distance x from its vertex. See, there are two things that you need to understand. One is what is the center of gravity of a, they can ask you, a solid cone. Other question that they ask is what is the center of gravity of a hollow cone? Do you know the difference?
Yes, sir.
See, that is one part. But another critical thing that you need to keep in mind is that where are they asking you the center of gravity from? Is it from the vertex? Is it the distance is measured like this, or the distance is measured from the base? Have you understood what I said?
Yes, sir.
So we need to understand the center of gravity, or we should remember the center of gravity of a solid cone, hollow cone, but we should also keep it in mind that whatever formula that we have crammed or remembered or applied, whatever we have done, from where that formula is that formula with respect to the base, or is the formula with respect to the vertex? Vertex is this highest point. This is easy. Is there any doubt still?
No doubt, sir.
Yeah.
So as we have discussed, for hollow cone, the center of gravity would be h/3 from the base. Mr. CB, any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
And for a solid, it would be h/4 from the base. Any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
So let us assume h to be 12 centimeter. So this would be at 4 centimeter mark from the base, and this would be at a mark of 3 centimeter from the base. Any doubt?
No doubt.
See, they can ask you a trick question from the vertex. So from the vertex, what would be the distance, Mr. CB, center of gravity?
h/2.
2h/3. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And what would be from the vertex in solid?
2h/.
3h/4. Any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
So let's move to the next question. The point through which the whole weight of the body acts is called the
Center of gravity.
Great. Question number 21. The point at which the total weight of the plane figure is assumed to be concentrated is called the
Center of gravity.
center of gravity. Question number 22. Where does the center of gravity of a uniform rod lie?
So at its center of its cross-sectional area.
At its middle point? Any doubt?
No doubt.
See, if you answer at the center of its cross-sectional area, then I can take the cross-sectional area anywhere. I can cut it here and take the cross-section here. I can cut it here and the cross-section here. The cross-section would look like a circle, and this would be the center. So this would be the wrong answer. The correct answer would be at the middle point. Any doubt?
No doubt.
Of course, here if I take the cross-section and the center of that cross-section, of course, this would be the center of gravity. But among these two choices, B and C, B is the correct answer. Any doubt?
No doubt.
Question 23.
What does center of gravity of a circle lie at its center?
Okay, correct. Can you calculate this? Question number 24.
So this would be 6, 1.5. See.
Great. Because approximately the diagonals will intersect around this point. This would be half and this would be half. So the point would be 6,3. This would be the right answer. Mr. CB, any doubt?
No doubt.
Question 25, 26.
In a uniform motion, which of the following remains constant? Speed v.
Okay.
26. Centrifugal force is a fictitious force.
Centrifugal force is a fictitious force. Another word which is used is Mr. CB?
Pseudo force.
Pseudo force. Yes, Mr. CB. 29, 30, 31, 32.
So the centrifugal force always acts away from the center, v.
Away from the center. Okay. The body moves in a vertical circular motion. What force does it not experience?
So C.
Okay. 31.
So centrifuge A.
32.
Highest position.
Okay. Let us try to understand, have a bit of a discussion about centrifugal force and centripetal force. See, just remember that whenever there is a circular motion, you always require a centripetal force. Without a centripetal force, there can not be a circular motion. Mr. CB, any doubt about this?
No doubt.
So centripetal force is a must for a circular motion. And what is a centrifugal force? Centrifugal force is, so for example, if I have a stone and I'm trying to rotate it, then a ant which is there on sitting on that stone will feel a force which is pointing outside. This force which is away from the center of the axis of rotation is called the centrifugal force. Mr. CB, any doubt?
No doubt.
So whenever they ask you what is the primary condition for circular motion, always remember that it is the centripetal force. Any doubt?
No doubt.
Okay. Now there are few other important questions about this centripetal and centrifugal that we'll be discussing in the next questions. Yeah, another thing is, at what position in the vertical circular motion is the strings tension the least? Now, whenever you have sat on the merry-go-round in a carnival, merry-go-round in a carnival, so you would have felt that you feel the lightest when you are at the highest point. Mr. CB, do you agree?
Yes, sir.
So for example, when you reach the highest point, it is there that you feel the lightest. The similar is the case when there is a string attached to a stone and this motion is in the vertical plane. Mr. CB, any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
So here also the tension would be the least when the stone would be at the highest point. Any doubt?
No doubt.
Okay. So question 33, 34, 35.
Which is the cause of uniform circular motion? C, both of these.
Sir, the cause of circular motion will always be centripetal force.
Okay.
It is not centrifugal force. That is what I'm trying to tell you. That you require, if you want a circular motion, you require centripetal force. Any doubt?
No doubt.
Question number 34.
So C.
In which of these motions can the speed be constant? So linear motion, uniform circular motion, of course, the speed can be constant in both of these. So that is why C is the correct answer. Any doubt?
No doubts.
35.
On what factor does the position of the center of gravity of a body depend? B.
On what factors does the position of center of gravity? Of course, it will depend upon the shape and the distribution of mass. So, for example, the classic example that we take is we take a disk and we take a ring. We take a ring like this. So we take a ring like this, and this is a disk. Now, when we take a ring, the center of gravity lies outside the body. If we take a disk, the center of gravity lies inside the body. Mr. CB, any doubt?
No doubts, sir.
Yeah. And another thing that we, if you have noticed, another thing that we say is that disk is uniform. Because it is a uniform disk, that is why the center of gravity lies at the center. If this was a non-uniform disk, the center of gravity won't lie here. So for example, if this is a non-uniform disk and more mass is towards this side, then the center of gravity won't lie here. It would lie somewhere here. Mr. CB, do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So let us try to do next question. A uniform meter. Let me zoom out a bit. A uniform meter scale is balanced horizontally on a knife edge placed at 58 centimeter mark when a weight of 20 GF is suspended from one end. What is the weight of the rule, Mr. CB? Can you calculate?
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. CB, how should we solve this?
So, in this problem, you have to first see the fulcrum. Where is the fulcrum located? It is located at 58 centimeter. So the way we have to form an equation. So the total weight of the scale will be on the 50 centimeter mark. And according to the question, there is another weight that is suspended at the 100 centimeter mark. So the final equation that would be formed is 8 into m is equal to 20 GF into 100 centimeter. Oh, sorry, 100 minus 58, which would be 42 centimeter. And then accordingly, we could get the answer.
So, Mr. CB, there are 2-3 things that you need to understand. One is that try to always call this W so that you remember that this is a weight. Any doubt about this?
No doubt, sir.
See, always remember that GF, gram force, is the weight. So it is always helpful to call it W. Don't call it M, or it will lead to needless confusion. So that is the first thing. The second thing is, though the scale, the center of gravity of the scale would be at the 50 centimeter mark, but the fulcrum can be anything. So for example, in this case, the fulcrum is at 58 centimeter. So don't assume that the fulcrum is at 50 centimeter. Mr. CB, any doubt?
No doubt.
And the third thing that you need to understand is that the distances are always taken from the fulcrum. So it always helps if you draw a diagram. So for example, this case, the distance would be 8 centimeter for W. It will be 42 centimeter for 20. Mr. CB, any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
So these are the 2-3 things that you need to take care, because usually this is a confusion that usually students have. So great. Let us move on to 37, 38.
So in the 37th question, where is the center of gravity of a uniform ring? It would be at the center of the ring. And then 30th question, name the force required for uniform circular motion. It would be centripetal force.
Great. Question number 39. You can solve this. So Mr. CB, question number 39.
So ABC are the 3 forces, each of magnitude 10 Newton, acting on the plane of paper shown on the figure. So the question is, which force has the least moment of O? It would be C, plane C.
Why?
So because the distance of O from plane C is the smallest. So accordingly, force of moment would be least.
Great. So you need not calculate the, the individual moment of forces. Just remember, because each one is 10 Newton, each one is 10 Newton. The smallest will decide the least moment of force. So you are absolutely right. This is the correct answer. No need of calculating. Great. Question number 40.
What provides the necessary centripetal force in the following cases? First A, second B.
So just try to see that it is the electrostatic force due to which the electron will revolve around the nucleus. So you require a centripetal force. That is what I'm trying to repeat again and again. When moon is moving around the earth, it is due to the gravitational force. Mr. ZB, any doubt?
No, not.
So just remember that for circular motion, centripetal force is required. The next is whirling of stone tied to a string.
And so third would be centripetal, B. B.
Okay.
And so the fourth would be motion of planet around the sun. This would be A.
Great. So Mr. CB, look at question number 41 and 42.
So the 41st question, where is the center of gravity in the following objects? According, it would be in the circle, central of circle. For rhombus, it would be the intersection of diagonals. For scalene triangle, it would be the centroid. Cylinder would be the midpoint of vertical axis.
Great. So question number 42, 43, 44.
So the 42nd question, name the unit of physical quantity obtained for the formula p square upon 2m. This would be a joule.
So p square upon 2m. How do we calculate this? This would be p is the momentum, is mass into velocity. So p square would be m square v square upon 2m. This m cancels. This is half mv square. And if you remember your formulas, this is basically kinetic energy. So this will be joule. Mr. CB, any doubt?
All right.
So joule is the correct answer. Question 43.
What is the unit electron volt related to SI unit of energy? And so this would be C and D are same, so it could be either one of them.
Okay, let's try to understand what is 1 electron volt. So Mr. CB, let's try to understand this in detail. So if you just want to cram that 1 electron volt is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the minus 19 joule. Mr. CB, any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
So if you want to cram, this is the right answer. 1 electron volt is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the minus 19 joule. But if you want to understand, because this would be part of your electricity chapter. So imagine there are two plates which have a potential difference of 1 volt. One is a negative plate and another is a positive plate. And you are trying to push the electron from the positive plate to the negative plate. Mr. CB, have you understood?
No doubt.
Now, because, see, just try to understand, because this is an electron. So it won't, because it is negatively charged, it won't go automatically from positive to negative. You'll have to do some work on it. Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
So the definition of electron volt is that how much work or how much energy do I need to provide to the electron so that I can push it from the positive to the negative plate, which has a difference, and the two plates have a potential difference of 1 volt. Mr. CB, have you understood?
Yes, sir.
So the work done or the energy that has to be provided is equal to delta V. See here, delta V is the potential difference. Any doubt?
No, no, sir.
We'll do this again when we are doing electricity. This formula, potential difference. That is why I just took out some time to explain it to you. This formula would be the fundamental formula when we do the electricity chapter. So work done is equal to delta V into Q. This is the potential difference. The potential difference is 1 volt. The charge on electron is 1.6 into 10 is for minus 19 coulomb. This is CB, any doubt?
All right, sir.
So this would be 1.6 into 10 is from minus 19 volt into coulomb. Volt into coulomb is joule. This is CB, any doubt?
All right, sir.
And the amount of work or the amount of energy required is a 1 electron volt. This is CB, any doubt?
All right.
And from this calculation, from all this calculation, basically this is a result that you derive. Any doubt?
All right, sir.
You should be very clear about this. Great. Question 44.
The point through which the whole weight of the body acts. B.
Okay, great. Next question. Force F required to stop the windmill from running. Mr. CB, can you calculate this?
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. CB, how should we solve this?
So first, we have to take the product of the windmill's hands and the force on them. So it's like 4 into 1 plus 3 into 2 plus 2 into 3.
So we have to balance the moment of forces.
Yes, sir. Exactly.
So force into 4. This is the moment of force, which is in the anti-clockwise direction. Rest of the moment of force, if you observe, they are in the clockwise direction. Mr. CB, any doubt?
All right, sir.
So basically this moment of force has to balance these 3 moment of forces. Mr. CB, any doubt?
No doubt.
So this is the equation you will form, and the force required would be 4 Newton. Any doubt?
All right.
Great. So can you look at question number 46, 47, 48, 50?
So the 46th question, uniform circular motion, is an example of a accelerated motion.
Shabash.
The principle involved in working of a beam balance is principle of moments A,
Shabash.
which of the following remains constant. B, speed.
Shabash.
The 50th question, what is needed to open a shut door? Pressure. No, sorry, D, moment of force.
Sorry?
So D.
So to open a shut door, basically you require a moment of force. Why? Because you require a force into D, perpendicular distance. Any doubt?
All right, sir.
Great. So see, there are few critical things that we have discussed here. One was the equilibrium required for moment of force. Then we have required, see, in question like this, just always keep in mind that this question can be asked as 1 electron volt is equal to 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 joule. Another way of asking this question is, what is 1 joule equal to? Mr. CB, any doubt?
No doubt.
So you should be very clear. This would be equal to 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. Any doubt?
No doubt.
When you solve this, 10 raised to 19 would come up, and this will be equal to 10 upon 16. Any doubt?
No doubt.
Let us borrow a 0 from here. So this will be 100 upon 16. Any doubt?
No doubt.
So 16 6 are 96. So this would be approximately 6 into 10 raised to 18 electron volt. Mr. CB, any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
So what I'm trying to tell you is that this format has low chances of coming, but this format has more chances of coming. Mr. CB, any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
So this was an important question. Questions regarding center of gravity are important. Centripetal force is required for uniform circular motion. Just remember this. These kind of questions, just be very clear that this is the fulcrum. All the moment of forces have to be taken around the fulcrum. Mr. CB, any doubt?
No doubt.
And so centripetal, centrifugal, we have done. Then be clear when we discuss that the cone, that from where are you taking the center of gravity? Are you taking the center of gravity from the base, or you are taking the center of gravity from the vortex? Mr. CB, any doubt?
No doubt.
Great, sir.